Hi there, I'm Reza, founder of Capture Accounting. I've got Brendan, my colleague, with me here today. And today we're going to be talking about all things to do with expenses. What expenses can you claim as a content creator or influencer? And the reason why we want to claim expenses is because it gets your tax bill down, meaning that you save money, which is what we all want to do, right? We don't want to pay more tax than we have to. And we're all about keeping more of what you earn, helping you to structure your affairs in the most tax efficient way. So I'm going to ask a question to Brendan. What is high level? What expenses can I claim in my business? What is the high level thing I need to be thinking about when looking at what I can and can't claim?
Okay, so obviously as content creators or influencers, the biggest thing for yourselves as a business is being able to get the content out there. Okay, so of course, equipment that goes into filming, whether it's locations, it can be towards your home residence if you're filming it from your kind of home dedicated studio space, which I know a lot of my clients have. And of course, there's other costs like travel, subsistence that can go into you actually being able to go and film the content. Let's be honest, most people when they're out and about filming content for their YouTube channels, they have to actually travel to locations. They have to go and be able to get that kind of content abroad or elsewhere around the UK.
Absolutely. So essentially the overriding theme is anything which is, and the tax terminology here is wholly and exclusively for the purposes of your business, of conducting your business, you can claim. So as a creator, as Brendan rightly said, anything that you incur in creating that content, whether it's your cameras, whether it's your green screen, whether it's your rucksack that you use to house your cameras, whether it's your lenses, whether it's your ring light, whatever it is, if you're using it for the purposes of creating content, you can claim it. And also travel, so if you're traveling anywhere, whether that's abroad or whether that's in the UK, or that's all allowable as well. So Brendan, give us some any more kind of obscure examples of things that perhaps we've taken on clients from other accountants and they haven't been able to claim them, or the accountant has said no, you can't claim that, and actually when we've looked at it we've said definitely that is to do with your business and therefore you can claim it. Can you give us a couple of examples of those?
Yeah, I certainly can. So there's a couple that come to mind. The first one, which I get a lot that comes across, is in a lot of ways accountants, because it's not their niche and it's they haven't dived deeply into the subject, is they don't understand that when you go to film content, there's a lot of props, there's a lot of bits of equipment that have to go into that big piece of content to be able to put it onto your YouTube channels. So I see a lot of times where there's stuff that's excluded because it's seen as all personal, it's seen as this is personal use, this must be personal use, when it's actually wholly and exclusively for the business, which means that you should be able to claim that. And of course you are in your rights to say you shouldn't be being taxed on that amount, so you should get relief on that.
Absolutely. And the other one we get as well is, well, if I'm a YouTuber, I'm in my home, I'm doing my videos in my bedroom, for example, so therefore I'm using part of my home, I'm paying rent, I'm paying bills, etc. Can I claim for that? Can I claim some of my bills against my my income if I'm working from home, as it were, and creating content from home?
Yes, in short, yes. HMRC have regulations which basically stipulate that you can claim a proportion of the costs towards running the property, which means in this case you would be able to proportion the property by time, by size of the area against the rest of the property. You'd be able to claim a percentage of your running costs. So that means things like your water, it can be your rent, your council tax, even you've got mortgage, all of this stuff pulls together. You'll work out a percentage based on the space and time element, and then you'll be able to put that through and be able to get tax relief.
That's amazing. I'm sure if you listen to this, if you're not doing that already, that's what you need to be doing, or speak to someone at Capture Accounting to help you to do so. So moving on in terms of the expenses wise, then what about, we get this one a lot in terms of if I'm going out, I'm creating content, I'm out for the day and I pop in to grab a sandwich and a drink somewhere, can I claim that? Can I claim for food?
You can, but of course there's regulations. Of course there's subsistence is one of those where it is very detailed. which means if it's temporary and it's away from where you would normally be located, then yes, you can. So if I'm in Portsmouth, if I was sent to Scotland because I had to go and film up in Scotland, then of course I can claim the costs related to that trip because it's specifically related to that content. And again, that wholly and exclusively for business use comes into play.
And in terms of, in order for me to be able to claim these expenses, presumably there's some sort of record keeping I need to keep up with, make sure that I've got receipts and stuff. Is that right? How do I go about doing that in the most efficient way?
So I would recommend software. Okay, we use software. We use Xero, QuickBooks, they're accounting softwares, but more importantly, they have photo capturing apps, which allow you just to take pictures of your receipts. It goes into your accounts for you. So it's the most painless way of record keeping, but it just means you need to keep your receipts, make sure you get VAT receipts if you're VAT registered, and then make sure that you are storing this. I would recommend digitally, but you can also do the more traditional basis of keeping the paper.
Yeah, hopefully our audience are okay with using their smartphone to zap receipts, so that shouldn't be a problem. But yeah, we do with our clients, we give them an app, and that's all you need to do. So if you're not somebody who perhaps is overly interested or takes any level of joy doing bookkeeping like we do, because we're complete geeks, then all you need to do is take out your smartphone and use the app that we give you to snap your receipt, and that's it. That's all you need to do, and we take care of the rest. There's one other thing which often we see that many of our clients have missed out on before coming to us is mileage. So if I've got a company and I'm traveling and I use my own car, what's the most tax efficient way? What can I claim from my business for doing that?
Okay, so if you're using your personal vehicle, then you can claim 45 pence up to the first 10,000 miles, okay? And then it will drop to 25 pence after that. But it has to be in the course of the business. Again, if you're having to go to a temporary location because you've got a shoot or you're looking to build some sort of content or some relevance towards your trade, again, wholly and exclusively, then yes, you will be able to claim towards that.
Absolutely, yeah. So any business purpose, so even if you're driving out to, let's say, for example, you've ordered something off the Apple Store and you're driving to go and pick it up, that's allowable. Let's say you've got a trip and you're going to meet a videographer or something for a business meeting, that's allowable. If you're going to meet your accountant and coming to capture accounting, that's allowable. So any journey that you are undertaking which has a business purpose is allowable. And again, we have apps that we use that make it really easy. So they're just in the background. They will log all your trips, and you then just go in, once a week or so and swipe left or right, depending on whether it's business or personal. So it's really easy thing to do to keep on top of. But again, the tax benefits are huge. So the first 10,000 miles, as Brendan said, at 45p, that's £4,500 of tax deduction that you can get every single year if you were doing 10,000 miles, which, is a fairly substantial amount. Fantastic. So anything else on that we haven't covered yet, Brendan, on the whole what can I claim in terms of expense-wise?
I mean, we've touched on a bit of travel and subsistence just because of the subsistence element, but of course there's a lot of travel. There's a lot of travel and you will be sent around the world to be able to film in different locations and build your brand, build your content. The general rules around it, again, wholly and exclusively for business. If you're having to go buy a hotel, get flights to go and be in that temporary location to be able to build the brand, build that content, and it's all to do with the trade, of course it's allowable. Of course you can claim tax relief on that. So it's really vital that you don't miss out on these key parts because they will save you thousands.
Absolutely. And what's the best way of doing this? So if I have a business, let's say I've got a limited company. So with a limited company, I'll have a bank account, I'll have a debit card or a credit card with the company. Should I make sure that I put all my expenses down on that card so they're easily traced, then you don't have to think about claiming receipts from your personal account? All my expenses are then going through on that limited company debit or credit card. Is that the best way to do it?
Definitely. Even if you're looking at sole traders at the moment, I would always recommend just having that separate bank account, credit card for expenditure. It makes it a lot easier for people like us to be able to reconcile your accounts, which makes your life a lot easier. So when you're looking to do this, it also keeps it all in one place in case you ever have to refer back to it. So of course, I would always recommend having a separate bank account or a separate account to run those expenses through. It just simplifies it from a record keeping stance.
Absolutely. Fantastic. So hope you got value from that, and it's given you an idea of what you can claim. So make sure you're maximizing your expenses so you're reducing your tax bill and keeping more of what you earn. If you feel that you're not quite getting the right advice, if you're not claiming the expenses that you should be, then click on the links below and come and make a call. Be happy to speak to you and give you advice in this regard and help you with keeping more of what you earn. Thank you for watching today, and check out the other videos you haven't already, and we'll see you on the next episode. Take care. Bye for now.